Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur. Oh!
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est Canadien qui concède le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens. Le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs!
And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. Bittt. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro on this Monday night. It is March 13. The Montreal Canadiens played the defending Stanley Cup champions, who look like Stanley Cup champions tonight. They laid the smackdown on the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 8-4 in a 13-minute span, period number 1 from minute 3 to minute 16. The Colorado Avalanche put 4 by Jake Allen, count them 4, and Josh Anderson was able to narrow that lead to 4-1. That's how period number 1 ended. Period number 2 ended by a score of 6-2, and of course, period number 3 by a score of 8-4. After 6 goals, Jake Allen was pulled from this hockey game. Samuel Montembeault got in. He gave up a couple. At one point, it looked like that famous game back in December of 1995 when Patrick Roy gave up 9 goals in an 11-1 loss to the Detroit Red Wings. It was looking like that at one point, you know, with the score being 4-0 so early on. But, you know, the Canadiens were able to clutch and claw their way back into the hockey game, and they narrowed the lead, and they made it a game. And at the end of the day, what you want is you want excitement, you want entertainment, you want goals, and you got it. It's unbelievable what's going on right now. J'ai gagné mon pari, as they say in French. I've won my bet because I've been pushing and advocating for the rebuild and patience and all that stuff. And lo and behold, the Montreal Canadiens just lost their 7th game in a row. And I don't think anyone was booing tonight, or at least if they were, I didn't hear them from home. But all is well in Montreal, and the Canadiens have lost 7 in a row. It's a beautiful thing. The Canadiens in 28th out of 32 teams in the National Hockey League, and they lost to 14th place Colorado tonight. Arturi Lehkonen scored a couple of goals, goal number 19 and goal number 20. Good for him. And what a goal by Nathan MacKinnon, who showed all the power in his stride and all the finesse and all the talent. My God, it was unbelievable. He put his head down, shoulder out, tucked to the outside, go inside, go to the net, go to crash the net, boom, put it upstairs. What a goal. Wow. Marinaro with the Sick Podcast, brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America. They are driven to be different. And the only problem is I forgot to fill my bottle with water. I put water in my water bottle before, and I forgot it now. I hope I don't need water. And brought to you in part by, here's the good news, I have La Bittt Tibi. This is the 5.2% brewed in Quebec, a winner of a dozen international awards. La Bittt Tibi offers quality microbrewery beers made with premium ingredients for everyone's taste. La Bittt Tibi, embrace your true nature. We're going to get to your phone calls tonight at 1-888-585-7425. We started later than usual because, of course, the Canadiens hockey game just finished about 5 minutes ago, and we went on social media on Twitter, and we said we are going to be on at the conclusion of the Canadiens hockey game. That's exactly what we're doing. And I bring in George Laraque, who's usually a regular contributor on Thursday, but he joins us early. Where's the pillow, my man? Can I hear you or I can't hear you?
Can you see it?
I can see the pillow, yes.
Okay, good. Here it is.
Yeah, let me zoom in on it. Okay, talk again.
Here's the pillow.
Okay.
How's the pillow?
About a month ago, we had a problem with your sound.
How's the sound now?
I sent you something. Are you wearing what I sent you?
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. Look.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Well, for whatever reason, it's like it's crackling, nephew. It's like snap, crackle, pop. I don't know what it's doing.
No, this is it, right?
Yeah, that's it. My God, look at you. You're the best.
You can hear it? You can hear me?
I can hear you, but I hear a little bit of a crackle in my ear. Maybe I got water in my mixer board or something. I don't know, because the other day I spit out water. Maybe it's on my end.
No, the sound is perfect on my side. I hear
It's perfect on your side. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to get off and come back?
Yeah, you're going to have to do that because Sammy was the real boss of this program. He's the guy who signs the checks every couple of weeks. Like he says, it's not good. And we need to make Sammy happy because if Sammy's not happy, I'm not getting paid. And I want to get paid. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go down. You know what I mean? That's the way it's going to go down. Hello to everyone watching on YouTube Live. Hello to everyone watching on Facebook Live. Hello to everyone watching on Twitter Live. James says yes. Crackle. Hello?
Is this better?
Talk again.
Check. 1 2 1 2. Check.
Much better.
Awesome.
Much better. Yeah, much better.
Good.
Hey, at one point we saw why they're defending Stanley Cup champions, eh?
Well, Tony, first of all, I heard you with the 7th loss in a row. You're so happy because now you're back on a Bedard watch. But you know what, Tony? They are a good team, but it's really hard because look at Montreal team. Montreal team is beating the record of last year of the most injuries man lost in regular season. Last year was bad, and this year is going to be even worse. Without that, with all these guys hurt, how could you even measure what the Canadians could do against Colorado, man? Colorado is obviously a very good team.
A machine.
Look what the first line was. How could they compete against Colorado? We all knew it was going to be a slaughter.
A machine. Colorado's a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like their chances to repeat this year or what?
It's tough to say, man. The East is very, very strong. Colorado is not the same team as last year because
no, they're not.
Kadri's not there. Goalie's not the same. McCarr had a couple concussion. So there's a couple things that you're looking at this team that they're not as good as last year. But again, if their road to the Stanley Cup final is without any injuries, because you remember Landeskog is not there. His career could be done. If his career is done, Kadri's not there. Okay, they got a guy to replace him in the first line, but it's not the same. I don't know. Colorado is very good. You can't count them out. But I think this year the East is going to take it.
No, Landeskog's going to be back.
I don't know. They talk about how his injury was pretty bad. That they weren't sure if he was going to be back for playoff. They're not sure.
I read something yesterday, healing up, but at different paces. That's what I think I read. Yeah, he should be. He should be back, but yeah, you're right. It's been a little bit of up and down for him. Josh Anderson tonight. Let's talk about him. By the way, do you mind if I had a Reese's Pieces on the show before? Is that okay with you? Or
yeah, you can have anything you want, but I thought, Tony, that you were gonna be careful with the way you eat. You made
I am careful. I just had one. 2 months ago, I would have had 20, my man.
Yeah, but you don't need any, Tony.
No, yeah, you're right about that. But my buddy, I was actually hesitant about eating one on the program because my buddy, I ate something. I don't know if I ate M&Ms or whatever it was, probably about like a year ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine who called me the next day and he told me, "Hey, bud, I just want to let you know, don't ever eat on the podcast again." So I said, "Why not?" He says, "Because it looks bad." So why does it look bad? It just looks really, really bad. And you know what? For a year, I don't think I ate on the podcast. But now tonight, I'm like, you know what? It's my podcast. It's my show. I mean, it's Yellow and Sammy's company, but they don't mind. If they don't mind, I'm just going to go for it. You know what I mean?
But Tony, if you have good manners, if you have a podcast, that means that you're eating with food in your mouth. We're teaching kids never to do that. So it's not like you could eat something and stop.
Now this guy's going to make me feel bad.
And it's not like you have to wait till you're swallowed before you talk to people. Like
you know what? Now he's going to make me feel bad. You know what? I'm not going to eat them. I'm not eating them.
You don't need them, Tony. Have a salad after it's done.
Yeah. No. I'm not eating them. These were my leftovers from Halloween. I'm not eating them. That's it. Okay. All right. Okay. Made me feel bad now. Hey, did you see
for salad?
Pardon me?
When are you gonna have me over for salad?
I had some salad earlier on today at lunchtime.
Yeah, well, a salad inside a burger?
No, a salad with a steak.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Salad with steak. Yeah, we had salad with steak.
Like that was coming.
Yeah. And we had, anyway, forget about what we had. It doesn't matter. Cale Makar, we had a chance to see him tonight. It was Jonathan Drouin who was saying, we're seeing the Connor McDavid of defensemen here. A Bobby Orr kind of defenseman. We're not going to see another defenseman like this for about another 50 years. He goes, the way he skates, it's unbelievable. You think you have him, and then all of a sudden he just blows by you, and then you want to try and blow by him, and you think you got him, and all of a sudden you realize that you don't. You talked about the concussion that set him back, but my God, he was on tonight. They were all on tonight.
Yeah, but again, it was a practice for them tonight. Because remember, Tony, yes, they're good, and yes, Makar there's not going to be another defenseman like that for a long time. But still, they played a minor league team. Montreal right now is a minor league team. We all the injuries and all the veterans that are pretty much gone mentally, they can't compete anymore. Like, they're going to try to play the spoiler to the end of the season. But you know what? At this point, just lose, man. Just lose, finish on the bottom to get a good draft pick, because now it doesn't matter anymore.
You're right about that. I mean, they're behind Arizona now. Has got a point more than them. And at this point now, it's all about putting the chances on your side. I mean, there's nothing to play for now.
So the veterans that could come back, let them miss the rest of the season. It doesn't matter. I heard some report that Gallagher might play the last couple of games of the season. Why? Like, what's the point? It's done.
No point.
So at this point, for the longest time, I thought it was better for the team to win, so the team could win. So then, it shows character. And it's better to learn how to win than be a loser losing.
Yeah.
But if you look at this team, the core that's going to be back next year, there's so many of them that are hurt that even if they lose now, it's not going to change anything. So at this point, why not making sure that we're drafting the top three?
No, you're right for sure, 100%. I mean, what do I have to see Gallagher for at this point? You know what? Take the rest of the season off. We'll see you next year. Rest up, recover, and stuff like that. Hey, would you have pulled Jake Allen earlier?
Yes, I would have. Well, it depends who would have played tomorrow. If it's back to back, maybe they give it to Montembeault. So then it's okay. You put him later because you don't want Montembeault to be in the net for too long if he's playing tomorrow. It depends their decision. If you're putting Jake Allen tomorrow against Pittsburgh, which I doubt it, but if you do, then you have to pull him in earlier. So I think the way they did it, it would make sense. Would be in that tomorrow.
George, listen, we're going to have to take you off air again. Your mic is really acting up. I don't know if if it's probably not a lot of battery, but Sammy's going to try and figure it out with you off air.
Okay.
But, bro, you sound like you're like 20 feet underwater.
Really?
It's a disaster, bro.
You want me to do it?
I'm waiting for us to have one segment where the sound is going to be good. I don't understand.
First you show up with the pillow, try without the mic.
Okay, without the mic. Okay.
Is it better without the mic?
Talk again.
Is it better without the mic? How's that?
Not really, no.
Okay, I'll go back.
But all those walls are what? They're concrete, or you live in a cave? What's the story? Where were you living exactly? Why is your sound never good?
Tony, I have no idea. I have a Bell Fiber internet. I got your thing there. I just turned it off. So
you just give them free advertising. This guy. Oh my God. What gonna do with this guy? Okay, we're gonna try and figure it out. In the meantime, it's my opportunity to talk to you about sportbuffshop.com. You can shop all your sports licensed lifestyle apparel, including hoodies, caps, and t-shirts of your favorite teams from all major leagues at sportbuffshop.com. Use code SICK10 for 10% off on all of their items. By the way, my internet's absolutely fantastic. My sound is also fantastic, and I am on Videotron. Thank you very much. All right, okay. We'll get to some comments. Some of them are on YouTube right now. LOL, Tony and his hatred of free advertising. Of course, if we're going to advertise, you pay. Tony, credit to you for still seeing the big picture and trusting the process. The sun will shine on our bleu, blanc, rouge one day again, sooner than later. Go Habs, go. George says, time to call up Yuppie from Laval. We want the cup. Others, if we draft first this year, I will buy my chair for the parade. Tony probably has a router problem. Fasting affects mic quality. Maybe it does. Habs should send all young guys to the AHL. James, what do you mean? Maybe it's your audio. Yeah?
I'm back.
Did you fix it?
You did, yeah. It was because it was the audio has to be changed to ceremonic other than high phone audio. That's why.
Oh, that's what it is, eh?
Yeah. So that it's all fine.
Okay, very, very good. All right. Okay, so we're back. Yeah. So what? 10, 12, 13 minutes. No big deal. All right. Okay. What a goal by Nathan McKinnon, eh?
Oh, such speed. You know, McDavid does that every game, but it was nice to see McKinnon do that tonight.
Look, there's something about the way McKinnon skates. He, more than any other player in the league, he carves up the ice. He eats up the ice. I have a feeling that every time he takes a stride, if the ice could talk, the ice would be in pain and say, ouch.
Yeah, but you know, like, you remember, Tony, as magnificent this was, McDavid is faster than him.
Yes.
McDavid does not play with Rantanen. He does not play with players like that. Give a guy like that to McDavid and let's see what would happen.
Well, he's got Draisaitl. He's not throwing the garbage, you know?
No, but I mean the entire
team. Yeah,
the McCarr, the entire team that's
yeah, no. The way he's surrounded, it's unbelievable. Hey, you think Connor McDavid's the most gifted dynamic offensive player in the history of the National Hockey League?
Oh, in the history of the league. Hands down. Like, we've never seen anything like it. You know, like, he's going to get 150 points. With the trap and the way the NHL is today, to do what he's doing now is unheard of. It's amazing. Usually guys that are that fast, to have that vision and the hand-speed coordination with the way that he skates, is just unheard of. And remember that he plays against the top lines every game, top D-mans every game. They know his speed, and there's nothing that they could do. You know, McKinnon did it tonight, the one goal, but McDavid, every time he's on the ice, that's what he does. He does it all the time. It's incredible.
And let's just say that Draisaitl is his Curry, okay? Let's just say Draisaitl's his Curry. Well, he doesn't have an Anderson, and he doesn't have a Messier, and he doesn't have a Paul Coffey on defense.
It's a different line anyway.
It's unbelievable what he's doing. You're right. Like, I've always been a Gretzky fan, and I always was, and I always will be. I don't like to admit that anyone's better, because for me, Gretzky is like, it's like he's as close to perfect a hockey player as you can get. But Connor McDavid, man, we've never seen anything like this.
Tony, McDavid does not play without Draisaitl. McDavid top line, Draisaitl is second line. They play together in a power play.
Yeah.
They wanted to equal up the first and the second line. Sometimes they do put them together, but most of the time they're in separate line. And it doesn't matter who you put with McDavid, he makes everyone better.
No, he's we can have that discussion, obviously, of him being the greatest offensive player of all time. We can have that discussion.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, he plays with Zach Hyman, Evander Kane. It's unbelievable.
And this guy, like Zach Hyman, is going to get 100 points this year. Like 100 points because he plays with McJesus.
Yeah. What do they say, you that's in Edmonton a lot, what do they say about McDavid? I mean, obviously everybody knows he's amazing, but some cynics, some critics will say that, you know what, he can't lead them in the promised land. He can't lead them in the playoffs. Do the fan base, are they hard on him in Edmonton or not?
Tony, they're not, because look at his production playoff. He's averaging more than a point a game. You know, you can say, look at the way he's playing the playoff. He's always producing. So you can't say anything about him in the playoff. There's a couple things. People know that in Edmonton, they're lacking goaltending. Obviously, Campbell this year is a fiasco. Nobody thought he was going to be worse than fucking Mike Smith, but he was.
Whoa.
D-man. So when you look at that, defensively, they need help. So the one thing that people are afraid in Edmonton, Tony, is that
you have a problem with Mike Smith or what? You said his name with so much rage.
But Tony, listen to this.
Yeah.
2 years left in his contract, McDavid. If he doesn't have the tools to win the cup, he's gone, man. Because a generational player like this, it would be a waste if he doesn't win the Stanley Cup. And if the others don't find a way to give him the tools so he could do so, there's no way this guy will stay in Edmonton all his career and never win in a cup.
He shouldn't
have one. All the greatest player in the game has have a cup. Like Ovechkin got his cup before he shut it down.
Yeah.
Like, McDavid needs at least one, and Edmonton has to figure it out.
I was born in 72, so I didn't watch Bobby Orr play. My lifetime, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Connor McDavid are the three most best offensive players in the history of the game. But until McDavid wins that Stanley Cup that you're talking about that has eluded him so far, Sidney Crosby will go down as the more complete hockey player until McDavid's able to do it. And even if McDavid does it, maybe Sidney Crosby will still be in that category ahead of him.
You could say that he's more complete because defensively, McDavid has 1,000,000 points and he's plus 10. So, like, obviously defensively, he's not like Crosby. Yeah. Crosby defensively is more responsible, but McDavid is more explosive offensively. It's tough to compare because, if you want to win a game 7, you want McDavid. Like McDavid is like, he's a breakout player. He could change the game. He could do it all on the ice. Yeah. But I'm not saying with Crosby, what Crosby has done with Pittsburgh, and but again, the way that he was surrounded. Yes, there was Malkin at one point, like McDavid and Draisaitl, the two best centers in the NHL. And then you look at Letang, Marc-Andre Fleury, Jordan Staal, and all the supporting cast that was around them, like Gunzold, and all these guys that were mixed in that make the perfect combination because, as you know, star player, they can do it on their own, and it's important that they have the right supporting cast to help them.
Thank God this guy said his mic was better.
It's not better?
You're back underwater again, I think. It's on and off. It's on and off, it's on and off. Anyway, Arturi Lehkonen with 2 goals tonight. He's got 20 on the season.
Yeah.
And I think it's Bobby who threw that at me at Twitter saying 20 goals for Lehkonen. I didn't answer him, but I'll answer him here. What's the difference, man? He's playing with Nathan MacKinnon. He wouldn't be playing with a Nathan MacKinnon in Montreal. If Arturi Lehkonen was playing for the Canadiens, he'd probably have half the production. He'd probably have 10 goals and not 20. True?
Yeah, I agree. A lot 100%. Look, the best example of that. Look at Dadonov. Can you hear me good now?
I can hear you good. Yeah, you're still.
Dadonov, since he's been in Dallas, we're looking at him like, how come he's producing there? Well, in Montreal, he didn't have the right opportunity. He was playing with bad players. He's an offensive player. He had 45 points last year, Dadonov. In 1 year, he didn't just become bad. In Montreal, it didn't work. Team was going anywhere. He was playing with Belzil, Pezzetta, these guys. How is he going to produce? Lehkonen in Montreal, he was penciled in as a 3rd and 4th liner just to kill penalties.
Yeah.
So he goes to another team that gave him more responsibility, and all of a sudden, you got McKinnon saying last year that he was one of the best key additions that the team ever made. One of the best teammates they've had. Because of work ethic and everything. So that shows you right there that sometimes if the player doesn't get the right opportunities, he goes to another team and he does. I don't recognize.
Well, Dadonov right now is playing on the second line with Jamie Benn. They got Wyatt Johnston centering that line. He, Johnston, Max Domi, Mason Marchment, and Ryan Suter are together on the second unit of the power play. So he's getting good opportunities in Dallas for sure.
Yeah, and as you know, Tony, like some players, if they're not in the right setting, the offensive player, what are they going to do, right? We were just hoping to trade down enough to get something big in return. We got Gurianov that scored for a second game in a row, but I'm still not sold on the fact if I want to give him an extension because of the way that he's playing. He's so much on and off. He's so inconsistent that Montreal, what they don't need right now is another bad contract they're going to hink in. Like, if they're signing another bad contract, it will be pretty bad. So I don't know what they're going to do with that because at the same time, it's easier to play this year for the Canadiens because there's no pressure. Teams are not taking the team seriously. The last game against the Devils, there was no body check. no penalties on both sides. There's no emotion.
George, try taking off the wire and just using the square piece there.
What's that?
Try taking off the wire.
You want me to take the wire off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it off.
Okay, how's that?
I think it's better.
It's better?
Yeah.
This is your machine you give me. That's from the Dollarama?
Hey, there's good stuff at Dollarama, you know.
Yeah, Reese Pieces for you.
82 cents. The chocolate bars, I think, are 82 cents or 88 cents. Meanwhile, you get them somewhere else for a lot more. You get good deals on chocolate bars at the dollar store.
That expired.
Nah, they're not expired. That's not true. They buy in volume, man. They buy in volume. Josh Anderson, 20 goals.
Yeah, well, you know what? We've talked a lot about Josh Anderson this year, huh? We said how he wasn't performing, he wasn't good, he was this, he was that. That's what he's going to give you every year. 20 goals, physical players, use his body, brings a dimension that helps the team, that helps the young guys, that helps the centers that he's going to play with. Obviously, this year is a weird year, but next year with the young guys, he's a power forward that they need. They couldn't afford to trade him because you trade him, who's going to replace his physicality up front in the top six? I love Josh Anderson.
You know, George, I just figured it out, okay?
Yeah.
I hate to harp on the microphone. I'm going to let you go now, but I just figured it out, okay? You know, you come on the podcast, you start saying that Chara pulled the shoot. You start saying that Lucic had no interest in fighting you. You say things that are just like, they're out of this world, right? So YouTube has started to mess with your sound like that. These things don't come out of your mouth anymore. That's what's going on. Hold on a second. Let's put on Sammy and Yellow before we, let's put on Sammy and Yellow. I think they figured it out. Hold on a second.
Hey, George, how are you?
How good I doing, bro?
So put the piece back on the phone.
Yeah, now we're going to do our tech work live on YouTube. Look at this.
Put the piece back on the phone.
The tech expert, Agnello Cavallaro,
No, I'm
sound
not
technician.
Back on. The
Okay.
piece.
So you don't need that wire. Unplug that wire
Oh, okay.
and just use the little square piece where you plug the wire in.
The
Put on
square
your
piece.
shirt.
This?
Yeah, put that on your shirt or put in front of your mouth. It's good.
Yeah, just talking it or put on your shirt.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, make sure you go on StreamYard on settings. Make sure on audio it's still the same mic.
The same mic? Okay.
Yeah,
What a disaster this is. We're doing all of our audio live on YouTube. This is out of this world.
I go on setting. Okay.
Look at that.
Audio, and it's on. Okay, let me put it. Okay, good. Now I did it. How's that?
Good.
It's good. Sammy's looking at everybody saying, what a disaster these guys are.
Yeah.
It's good. Hey, Tony, it's fixed.
You see? Now it's fixed.
Okay, enjoy the show, boys.
If it would have been Sammy, it would have been fixed a long time ago.
Palamore come.
Now we're talking. You see? Now it's very good.
So then it's the wire that is done.
Now it's very good. George, this is fantastic now. I'm going to keep you now for another hour because this is really, really good. George, 20 minutes, bro, Laraque, before every show. Text message, 20 minutes, bro, LOL. 20 minutes, bro, LOL. Hey, Gurianov on the power play, scores, took a whack at it, deflected or stopped, got right back to him, took another whack at it right away. He just tried to put the puck on net. Not the greatest goal in the world, but George, I've seen enough from Gurianov to make me believe that this guy can play to the potential that we once saw in him a long time ago.
Tony.
I've seen enough.
Tony, are you nuts? What is wrong with you? This guy played 2 games since he's been in Edmonton, in Montreal. He played 2 games.
You're giving me an analysis. You don't even know who he plays for.
Tony, come on, Tony. He's invincible. The guy's inconsistent. He has the speed, the shot, and everything. He scored in a lost cause like this.
George, of course he's inconsistent. I have news for you. 80% of players that are traded because they're inconsistent. You sound like Christopher Columbus. Scoberto l'America stasera, this guy.
Did you see the way that he's playing, Tony?
He's got 3 goals in 8 games, man. He's got 4 points in 8 games.
Tony, hold on. Tony, listen to this.
Hey,
this guy is 25 years old.
Yeah.
He gets traded to a team that he has a second chance. He gets traded to a team that is waiting for him to do good so they can give him an extension.
Okay.
There's no way, with the way that he's playing right now, he deserves a big extension. The team could maybe try 1 year to see what he does, sign him for 1 year, but there's no way he can give multi. What has he done to convince you that he's ready to get a multi-year extension and he's going to take
I didn't say multi-year, but can I show you something?
Yeah.
Look at that. What does it say?
3.75?
No, 30.75.
Okay.
He's got 3 goals in 8 games. On an 82-game season, that's 31 goals. What's your problem? What more do you want the guy to do? I'm not saying he's going to hit that if he would play a whole season, but this guy's got 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points in 8 games, and you're telling me that he's inconsistent. I hate to break it to you, George. They lost 7 games in a row, man. Everybody's inconsistent.
Tony, the way that he's been playing has been invisible for too many games for a guy that has a second chances. Tony, why would you think Dallas would let a 25-year-old go like this that is part of the course, that did an unbelievable playoff the year before, and then the year after, they give up on him, and he's 25 years old, the guy that shoots the puck the way that he does, and he skates the way that he does. You think Dallas is stupid, and they just give away?
I hate when people talk like this. You make it sound like every team that trades a player absolutely knows what they're doing, as if no team has ever traded a player before that they ended up regretting and it blew up in their face. So we're going to say this about every team that trades a player?
No, but Tony, he's 25 years old. He had crazy playoff last year. Think about it. Why would they give up on a guy halfway through the season when he was a star in the playoff the year before? There's something that happened that we don't know. But you don't let a guy that leads your team in the playoff, that's part of your core.
I don't care what happened when we don't know. I don't care about a year ago. I care about now.
Okay,
but I care about what happened in Dallas.
Tony, fine. So what are you seeing now with him? Do you see a guy that goes to net all the time with his speed? Do you see a guy that is in the play all the time? You see a guy that is in the goalie space. You see a guy using his shot regularly every game.
But Josh Anderson doesn't do that either. That's why Columbus traded him after he picked up 27 goals with them. But you know what? He's not bad.
Josh Anderson is sick, Tony. He used the body. He goes to the net. He's a gamer. He brings a physical aspect that brings respect to this dressing room. He's amazing. He's amazing. He gives room to the player that he's playing with. Gurianov is a big body, and he could be a Josh Anderson with better hands. And
what do you think of Tyler Bertuzzi?
What?
What do you think of Tyler Bertuzzi?
That's your next target, Montreal?
No, what do you think of him? I just want to ask you a question.
Tyler Bertuzzi is very good.
You take him on your team?
Well, yeah.
He's in the prime of his career. Yzerman traded him. Is he stupid too?
No, because he was going to lose him.
Well, Dallas doesn't have cap
space. He was going to lose him, Tony, because
Dallas doesn't have cap space going forward either.
Tony, he was going to lose him because he wasn't going to resign with the team. Come on, be honest there. It's not the same thing. If Yzerman can resign he just resigned the captain.
Yeah.
Like, if he wasn't able to sign the captain, they would have traded him, right? You remember when he gave him 8.5 a year, whatever, an amazing contract. Everybody thought that he was going to get 10 million a year, and then he got 8.5. He locked him in, the captain. Tyler Bertuzzi, he couldn't find a deal for him to stay. So other than losing him for nothing, that's why he's traded, Tony. So no, he's not stupid.
I don't buy your argument that everyone that gets traded, doesn't make sense to me, that argument.
But Tony, think about it. Last year,
St. Louis traded Tage Thompson to Buffalo. What does that mean?
Tage Thompson is an exception. It's amazing what he did. Amazing. Like, he turned his career around.
You know, Calgary ended up trading a forward who, Florida ended up trading a forward who picked up 115 points last year, and they ended up trading him, and they won the trade.
Tony, they did, but again, Calgary, you get a dinosaur coach.
What do you think of? What do you think of Teravainen in Carolina?
What? Teravainen in Carolina is amazing.
Sure, Chicago gave him away. What? They're stupid too? Like, yeah, George.
We all could have had him, but
George. Teams make mistakes. You know when they trade players, George?
No, but
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Teams, they make mistakes. They trade away the wrong players at time.
Only the reason why Chicago traded for they give Teravainen to colonize because they need to get rid of Bickle's
They need
contract.
to get rid of Bickle's contract. I guess. I know, but hold on a second. If they knew that Teravainen was going to be as good as he is now, do you think he's the player they would have packaged with Bickle? And was he too? Now, George, stop. George.
They won cups after. It's not Teravainen the problem. It's Bickle's.
Okay, they won cups after. You know what? The Oilers won a cup after they traded Gretzky too, but still, Los Angeles won the trade.
Tony, they needed to get rid of Bickle's contract. That's why.
I understand that.
Tony,
But
they
you
have
think-
3 cups. The Blackhawks has 3 cups after that.
Oh my God!
3
Oh, my
Stanley
God.
Cups.
They don't
But
have
they
3
get
Stanley
rid of-
Cups after that because they win 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years. They won it with Bickle, and then they ended up trading Bickle. So you can't have 3 if you're trading away Bickle because you have to dump his salary. George.
Tony, come on.
Oh my God, George, man! I hope you're going to get a diploma out of this because I'm taking you to school again. What's going on?
Are you
This
kidding
is
me?
terrible.
Hey,
This is
Tony is
bad.
everyone. Tony is in love with Gurianov. He wants the Canadian to give him a multi-year contract because he scored the 4th goal tonight on a game that was already done. He's an amazing player. He has 3 goals in 8 games.
Would you have kept
He's
Bo
the next
Horvat?
sniper of this team? Come on, Tony.
Would you have kept Bo Horvat?
They had no choice. He would.
Yeah.
He would. He
Okay,
signed.
every time a team trades somebody, they had no choice. If you're Chicago, would you have kept the Brinket?
Well, yeah, Chicago is rebuilding. I don't understand why they didn't keep.
Well, yeah, they're rebuilding and they traded away a young player, so they made a
Yeah,
mistake. No,
Should have kept them. It was dumb. They should have kept.
so
the
don't say if he would have been good, they wouldn't have traded him. Calgary put Marty St. Louis on waivers, man.
Yeah, I know, but Tony, again, that's another question.
Daniel Briere went on waivers, I think, 3 times in his career. Ended up being a pretty good player.
Tony, there were small players that didn't think that could make them win. They did, and I'm glad that they did. But again, there is exception to everything. We could talk about Dominic Hasek, and we talk about many guys in Chicago didn't work out, and then they let him go. But Tony,
Where's my sound technician again? All of a sudden,
but Tony, hold on.
yeah.
We're talking about Gurianov, and you telling me example like Briere, Martin St. Louis, and all these guys. Gurianov, man, wake up. The races went to your brain, man, because that does not make sense.
George, they gave up nothing for Gurianov. They gave up Dadonov, George. Do you understand? They gave up Dadonov. He wasn't going anywhere. I said that he's going to end up panning out in Montreal. That doesn't mean he's going to score 35 goals. What I'm saying is he'll be here for a couple of years. I think he's going to do well.
Do you want to bet that he won't be here for a couple of years?
Well, you think they're going to get rid of him for nothing?
I think that they. I
He'll
just
be back
don't.
next year.
I think if they give him a contract, it's not going to be more than a year.
Okay,
He hasn't done enough.
perfect. And I say in that year that he's gonna show that, you know what, he's turned it around and he'll be back again after that. Listen, it's my prediction. Chances are you're going to be right because when a guy's 25 or 26 and they trade him like that, it's because there's something wrong. But I feel strongly about what I say.
So Tony, are you the same guy?
Pretty soon I'm going to open up the pack of M&Ms, eh?
Tony, based
Because
on
I'm
that,
an emotional eater.
Tony, based on that, are you the same? You're probably going to tell me that Dwayne should resign with a Canadian.
No, he shouldn't. 6
What?
years he's here, George. 6 years.
Yeah, no, I know, but
6 years. He woke up in the last 15 or 20 games. We're going to resign him. Here's your medal, your prize. You resign. No.
No, but since you're just in love with Dadonov, I figured you're in love with Dwayne. You're in love with Armia. You're in love with Arfman.
I'm in love with Armia. Armia's not in love with Armia. Never mind me. Forget it.
I meant all the players that are sleeping, the veteran, you seem to love him for something.
This guy, I don't know what this guy. All right. Should I rip open those M&Ms? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to say goodnight, but before I do, let me bring back the sound engineer.
Why?
I just want to bring him back. The sound engineer. I want to bring him back. The sound technician. How's George's sound, Daniello?
George, check your StreamYard again.
Yeah, let's check everything. Daniello, you failed at your job.
Go on audio again, George, on StreamYard. Tell me if it went back to the
audio. Go on audio again.
No, it's not on the right thing.
It's on the right thing now. It's on the right thing, yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, it is. It's a ceramic wireless microphone. It's perfect.
Okay.
But Agnello, did you start taking some sound engineering courses at Dawson or something that I didn't know of? Or what's the story here? All of a sudden you're coming on.
Working with you, I'm not going to have a choice.
Who's better than you? Hey, how many times do you and I call each other during the day? Tell me the truth.
Too many.
How many? Give or take. Under 15.
George.
Over under.
George, what's wrong with this guy?
10. It's crazy.
Agnello and I, we talk at least 20 times a day. And every call, the funny part, every call lasts about 10 seconds. Yeah, I forgot to tell you this. Okay, bye. Calls me back 10 minutes later. Yeah, and this. Yeah, okay, bye. Calls me all the time.
Can I ask George a question, though?
Yeah.
George, what's wrong with this guy?
Tony, too much chocolate at night. So it goes to his brain. Tony.
When he needs marital advice, he also calls me because...
no, far from it, yeah.
Io sono esperto per queste cose, George. Me, I'm an expert for these things. Sports and women.
Okay, we're going off. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, the Canadiens tonight in that game, they never stood a chance. The last time I saw 20 guys that didn't stand a chance like that was when I was 18 and I walked into Super Neuf. None of those guys stood a chance when I was there. None of them. Adame, George.
Okay,
Adame. I don't even know. I'm not even going to talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to talk to your buddy. All right, George. Have a good one, bud.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. George Laraque. Why don't we go? Why don't we take calls? Let's do that.
You called. Presented by Playground.
A better sound than George. I can almost guarantee that. Okay. It's You Called, brought to you by Playground. Major poker festivals back at Playground. The March Million features 10 ring events and $1 million in guaranteed prize money. Pools, including a $400,000 guaranteed main event play in Playground's March Million Poker Series from March 23rd to April 2nd. Visit playground.ca for details. All right, there you have that. Let's open up the lines at 1-888-585-7425. 1-888-585-SICK. Let's get to your phone calls. We'll get to some of your comments, some of your messages as well on YouTube Live or Facebook Live or Twitter Live. Man, my back is absolutely killing me. I don't know if I just slept in a bad position the other night and I just woke up with this bad back pain, or my buddy told me I hunch too much when I'm on my phone and he thinks that's where I'm getting my back pain from. Anyway, I hope it's either one or the other, because that would be good news. Something else could be bad news. So I hope it's either one or the other. But I need an osteo badly tomorrow, like badly. All right. I am playing through pain. You know, when players play through pain, I'm playing through a tremendous amount of pain right now. Tremendous. Agnello and Sammy, let's open up those phone lines. 1-888-585-7425. If you want to throw out a comment or a question, go for it. I'm going to take George's advice. I'm not having any candy or chocolate, whatever. Gurianov's underlying numbers are excellent. I don't know what George is looking at. Me neither. This is coming in from Ellen Keefe. Thank you, Ellen. He's got 3 goals in 8 games. He's hammering them. Boop. 4 points in 8 games. He's hammering them. Boop. He's invisible. He's inconsistent. They've lost 7 in a row. K-Man YouTube. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. If Joy resigns with the Habs, do we get a first for him at the next trade deadline? He's not going to resign. Next. Mike Metzloff. Tony, under contract or not, who is 100% not going to be on the team next year of anyone currently on the roster? Weidman. Next. Dvorak and Harris for whatever you can get picks or good winger wise, even if goalie is possible. Yeah, I don't think they would trade them for a goalie, but I think they're up for trade if you want them. Next. Still good players, though. Tony, should the Habs trade for Carter Hart? I know there's talk of it. Obviously, the potential, the ceiling is better than what they have from that standpoint, but I don't think they're going to be a very competitive. They'll be a competitive team next year, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs next year again. Jerry in Longueuil. Comment ça va, Jerry?
Ça va bien, Tony, toi?
Ça va bien, merci.
Hey, Tony, I have a question for you.
Ben oui.
You know, the juniors are prospects that are in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, you know, might be out sooner than later. So I was wondering, if you were Ken Hughes and you had a kid like Kitney, Farrell, or Joshua Roy, who are at about a 2-point-a-game click right now, and they were out, would you bring them with the team? and give him, whatever's left.
Yeah, who are you talking about specifically?
Well, Joshua Roy, Sean Farrell, Kidney. There's Hudson who could come up too. I mean, guys.
Wouldn't surprise me if they take a look at them. Remember the way they did with Ryan Poehling? Remember Ryan Poehling last game of the season? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Because, we got nothing to lose, I think. Why
no,
not?
I get it.
Because I think next year the team's going to try to get a bit more serious and, aiming more for a playoff spot.
There'll be a more competitive team next year. I agree with you.
So this would be, I think, a golden opportunity. I got nothing against Belzile and Pinzetta and all those guys, but we know what they can bring to the table.
They try hard, man. They try hard.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't like that Pinzetta wanted to fight Bowen Byram tonight because he's had some really bad concussions.
Yeah, well, I know that wasn't great. Hey, I got to tell you this, Tony. Last weekend, not this weekend, the one before, I went down to Vegas with my boys to see the game.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and it was fabulous. I mean,
I've never been to Vegas, Jerry.
You've never been to Vegas, Tony?
I've never been to Vegas.
Wow. Well, I had been a few times. My boys was the first time, and I wouldn't go there for 2 weeks, but you go there 3-4 days. You got the casinos, you got the shows, Cirque du Soleil stuff, and it's like half an hour. You're in a place that's called Red Rock Canyon. So you go from the mountains back to the craziness of Vegas. And the T-Mobile Arena, I got to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they told me it's like a rock show, and it is. You go in there, and place is jumping. A lot of loud music, and you got the Golden Knight dude, who's fighting everybody, and quite a spectacle. And they have a good team, and I think the city. I was surprised to see the city how they react to the team. It seems to be a big success there.
What idea do they have at that arena that you would bring to this arena?
Just the way they get the people involved. I'll give you an example. How there's always, when there's a break, they always pump the crowd. And what they do is, to make some noise things. So what they do is they recreate like a slot machine. So the left side goes and it's make, and then it's some and noise, and then people, get excited about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, okay, only the guys applaud, only the girls, only the people lost all their money applaud, So it's sort of like a bit of humor in there. And the video, the pregame show, the best one I had seen before that was in Tampa when they recreate like a thunderstorm before the game starts. But this one's pretty cool too. So I was pleasantly surprised. Canadiens did all right. We lost, but it's funny because my son, he put a bet. We were in a betting room, the sports betting room on the Canadiens, and he laid $20 down. And if Canadiens had won, he would have won 60. But they lost.
Wow! I want to show you an idea. I think you'll like this. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. Are you watching this right now as we speak, or are you in front of a tablet or in front of a computer or anything?
Yeah, I am watching.
All right, look at this. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. There we go. Okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll tell you what this is, okay?
What is it?
So my nephew went to a soccer game in Italy.
Okay.
You went to a Juventus game.
Wow.
And when you enter the stadium, they take a picture of you and they take down your email.
Okay.
At the end of the game, if you've been in the camera during the game, they'll email you every single picture in which you came up.
Wow, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
so there's I don't know, about
well, it's
probably about 50 pictures of my nephew.
Well, good for him if that worked out, because I was lucky enough when I turned 60, I decided to go to Spain on my own, and I went to see I think I told you I went to see the Real Madrid play against Sevilla, and Cristiano Ronaldo was playing, and I was really impressed by the pageantry of it, before the game starts and the guys come in with the kids and all, and the people.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, I love going to watch soccer games. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk to you soon. You take care of yourself.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
All right, there you have it. Jerry in Longueuil. Good guy. Maybe we have time for one more call. 1-888-585-7425. Let's get to one more call. 1-888-585-7425. Let's try to get to one more here. We are going to, where are we going? Going once, going twice. Who wants to talk to Marinaro? You can ask me anything, by the way, whatever you want. Whatever you want. I'm not going to guarantee you an answer, but chances are I'll answer you. Whatever you want. It's getting nice out, huh? Tomorrow, hopefully, it's a nice day. Lecky's on my fantasy team in a very deep league. Poor Lecky. Do you think Jaden Struble will sign? Yes, I do. Tony, have you heard on an Italian soccer game chanting "Che confusione"? Yes, of course. Che confusione sarà perché ti amo, un'emozione che cresce piano piano, stringimi forte e stammi più vicino, se ci sto bene sarà perché ti amo e vola vola si va, si va e vola vola con te, e se l'amore non c'è, basta solo una canzone per far confusione. Yes, I've heard it. It's fantastic. That's Iriki e Poveri, by the way. I've gone to see them in concert before. Tony, are you going to any more games this season? Well, I can go whenever I want. It's just that obviously during the week I don't go because I have to be back at home so I can do the podcast. Tony, is your wife annoyed now that you're home more? I don't know. I don't know if she is or not, but I mean, I got no regrets. I'm pretty happy. Where are we going here? Last one of the night. Mike is in Jersey.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, hi, Tony. I never spoke to you before. I'm going to give you a little rundown about how I heard about you and why I want to talk to you.
Wow.
I actually...
You're not with the FBI or anything, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay. So yeah, continue, because for a second there you scared me.
So,
thought you were coming to get me.
First of all, for starters, before I tell you why I called and where I'm from, why I live here, where I'm from originally, I really enjoy your show.
Thank you.
I actually, the first time I heard you, believe it or not, was when the Habs made it to the final round against. I'm not the biggest
Tampa 2 years ago.
Got the Habs. Right, 2 years ago. Yeah, I've been to plenty of games at the Bell Center and stuff like that. I've been to games here at the Prudential Center with the Devils.
Yeah.
But I actually found you to be a really, really funny guy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I really enjoyed listening to your. I believe at the time it was still. I'm not sure if it was TSN 690. I don't know what it was.
Never heard of them.
Obviously, being from Montreal originally, which I'll tell you soon.
Yeah.
I just like you were very entertaining. You got involved, a lot of passion, a lot of energy.
Thank you.
And honestly, I listen to not necessarily podcasts, but talk show hosts here in the States, which New York, New Jersey, and stuff like that. You got a lot going for you.
Oh, really? So you think I'm in that category or what? What's the story here?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes, you definitely are, and you got it. It's a talent. It's a talent that you have, and
So now you don't listen to sports radio anymore. Now you listen to sports podcasts, correct?
So yeah. So actually, it's funny because I sometimes log in at night at 10 o'clock, and I get to see you. I watch, your podcast with, a few of your collaborators, either if it's George Laraque or what's his name, Marc-André Perrault.
Marc-André Perrault. But listen, Mike, you don't take a page out of George Laracque's book and have a pillow nearby, do you?
Very funny. I enjoy all the jokes, all the humor. It's great
Thank
stuff. You. And let me add something else over here.
Thank you, Mike.
From the humor, it's intelligent humor. You know what I'm saying? It's not like sometimes people try to be funny and throw in stupid jokes and or not necessarily anything with that's too intelligent. Your humor is intelligent. So you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I appreciate that
Thank
a
you
lot.
very much, Mike. Mike, thank you very much. I really that's very nice of you. I've said this before, Mike. I absolutely love what I do. I'm having a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on the air, on the radio for 20 years. Absolutely love radio. And now I decided back in May that I'm going to try and do in the podcasting world what I did in the radio world, which was make noise. And I want to try and make as much noise as possible. I want to do it for Sammy. I want to do it for Agnello. I want to do it for myself and my family, obviously. So we want to make this podcast as big as possible. I think it's growing every day. And, you know, there's certain things that we did this year that we didn't do a year ago. And there's certain things that we're going to do next year, next hockey season, starting in September, that are going to be an upgrade on what's happening right now. We need the community. The community's there. I need the support. I've always had the support. I have a loyal following. I think I have the best following in all of sports radio and television. The following I've had for the last 20 years is the best, bar none, number one, absolute best. And they follow me over in the podcast. And just like you did when you started listening 2 years ago when I was on radio, and now you're with me 2 years later. Thank you very much, Mike. You take care. Have a great night. On that note, if I can, Agnello and Sammy back at Master Control, if you can bring up a picture that I sent you before the show. There you go. All right. So back in the month of December, on the podcast, there was one show in which I said, you know what? I'd love to meet you, any of you watching. And, tomorrow Agnello and I are going to Laraque de Carry. And whoever shows up, it's our treat. Like, we'll take care of it. And there was a table of 4 to my left. There were 2 women and 2 men. And one gentleman is wearing the blue and black hoodie, is Alain Belso. And the other gentleman who's got his arm around me is Arnie Maloney. And Arnie sent me a very, very, that day we talked. We talked about a lot of stuff. And he sent me like a couple of days later, he sent me like an email that was like thousands of words. I read it all, and he basically outlined and detailed his admiration for me, what I was able to accomplish in my career, some of my best moments, and the fact that, I stayed true to myself down the stretch. And, I set out to build this podcast with Sammy and Agnello, and it was one of the nicest emails I ever got in my life. Anyway, we had a really, really nice afternoon in Laraque, where, we were there for, I would say, hours. And I was quite shocked a couple of days ago when LA, once again in the blue and black, sent me an email telling me that Arnie passed away suddenly. And so I want to dedicate tonight's show to Arnie Maloney. We spent a real nice day together, and he sent me that email, and I'm going to hold on to that email forever. Rest in peace, my man. And Alain, even though the news was painful, thanks for sending it to me. Marinaro, the Sick Podcast. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Tell your friends about it. Have a good night.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida TB. Embrace your true nature.